Namaste, Jai Bharat. Undoubtedly, democracy is the best possible governance, with all its drawbacks that I must add in capital letters, with all its drawbacks. But there are a lot of drawbacks in democracy, but one drawback is that it has a lot of space for people to play into it. Interference and intervening is possible from nations without, with interests different. This you find in many democracies, especially a democracy which is trying to be appropriate. You look at Bharat, you will find all kinds of interference which goes to the extent of destruction of the very edifice of the democratic existence of the nation. See, Bangladesh is not an archetype democracy at any point in time, but look at what happened in Bangladesh. It was possible for someone to intervene. It was possible for someone to create unrest in this nation. It was possible for someone to put a plant as in charge of the state, which still continues. This is a vulnerability of democracy. But then we cannot opt out of democracy, because democracy is proven to be the best possible governance till now. Until, of course, there is something else new emerges, possibly, which is not likely. So these kind of problems are there in democracy. Look at the elections in Bharat for last election. It was possible that Modi ji alone is going to get huge majority. But then there were interest groups who did not want him to come to power because of their interests, personal interests, because if he is at the realm of things, if the nationalist government like BJP is in authority, they will try their best not to let foreign interferences of destructive nature inside our nation. They will be vigilant, they will be careful. So easily somebody else cannot just intervene for their advantage in a society and take us for a ride. This used to happen in the past. Another thing is that these people are not easily corruptible, because there are such kind of checks and balances within this nationalist politics and nationalist parties that you don't let anyone scot-free once it's evident that this person functions against the interest of the nation or welfare of the nations, whether knowingly or not. Even if it's an inadvertent thing, he will be checked, no matter who. That kind of a system is in place, which is deeper. People should know it, and I think most people do know it. Who is checking things behind such nationalist movement? But then, in spite of all those things, there is always an element of opposition. There is an element of many groups who have their dreams and interests for their own sake, just neglecting the nationalist interest, because they are not concerned about nationalism in the real sense. They are not that transparent with national feelings. They would like to seek for their own good welfare, existence, and establishment, as it happens in Pakistani politics. Each one looks after their own interest. These people get strengthened with the support from outside, and these people can create chaos. Last elections, the nationalist government would have won with huge majority, but they did not get that kind of majority because of such spurious stories running, such operations running, such deception movements moving on. It's no point in analyzing. People are supposed to understand, and those who can't understand, they're not going to understand also. That's also there. Those who know it, they already know it, and those who don't know it, because in spite of all those things are evidently presented to them, they can't understand. Means they are incorrigibles and irreparable here, because they're focused on a different direction with all kinds of reasons. Maybe inadvertent, but maybe very calculated. So this problem is there with the democracy. This is one shortcoming of democracy. But with all those things, we'll have to still stand for democracy. We know that this viruses shall be inside, and we have to deal with such viruses from time to time. Mostly, in many other times, such virus activities shall be so irritating and repugnant, but one has to be extremely patient to system them out, churn them out, system them out in a methodological manner. There's no other way. So this is the built-in problem with democracy. It gives a different appearance than reality because of the interference and intervening of many others. It will take longer time for people to realize that who had been doing what, and for maybe for decades they might not realize what really must have happened. Nonetheless, we still are democratic. We would aspire to be democratic, and will continue to be democratic. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Sri Ram.